Hi everyone and welcome to your Tarot Love Messages. This is going to be a collective message for everyone, so that means that it's not necessarily intended for any specific sign, but if you have clicked on this reading, then I do believe there just may be a message or two that is meant to reach you. Okay, maybe it's something that you'll find helpful, maybe it's a message that might be very guiding, or just something that you might need reminding of. There is also going to be a part 2 to this reading, and in part 2 it is going to be an extended reading, so we will follow on with the messages and maybe even go into a little bit more depth and detail, and part 2 is going to be made available via the extension link below. Also guys, if you are interested in a personalized tarot reading, feel free to reach out. I will also list my email address just below the video. Otherwise, let's begin with the reading. So we want to take a look and see, why is your person acting distant? Okay, so I guess this message here is tailored to those of you that are experiencing like a cold energy emitting from your person. So if they've gone quiet, if they've ghosted you, if they're not their usual self, if you just feel a shift in the energies, we want to see what's going on with them. Okay, so what are they thinking, what are they feeling, and we'll see what is it that you need to know about this sudden behavior. Oh wow, okay. Interesting. Okay, you do have a fair bit of air energy, you noticed? Okay, so a fair bit of swords here. You may be dealing with an air sign, a Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, or someone who does have air in their natal chart. You could be the air sign listening to this, or someone who does have a lot of air in their chart. Otherwise, because Swords does govern mental energy, I can see that this is something that has been really consuming a lot of your mental energy as well as your person's energy. So it means you may have been thinking about this person a lot, and they may also be thinking about you. There may not necessarily be any contact or communication. In fact, the both of you might not be communicating at all. They may have ghosted you with the Tower and the Tower card here. This is someone who might have pulled away very suddenly or abruptly, or is pulling away, like physically or emotionally, so to speak. But I can see energetically you guys are still connected. So even if they're not necessarily talking to you, it doesn't mean that you're not on their mind. You are. They are thinking about you. They're thinking about you. They're thinking about contacting you. They're thinking about reaching you, communicating with you. However, it's not so simple. It's not so straightforward. It's not, it's not just black and white. There's a lot of patches of gray areas, and I see that there's a lot of blockages as well. Now, there's a lot of pain, because swords are a weapon, okay? They can be a destructive force. And there is a lot of pain that the reading here seems to indicate. So maybe what's going on between the both of you feels very painful and it feels uncomfortable. Maybe the both of you have had a very painful separation or a very painful ending to a connection. Maybe you guys are you're feeling very disconnected and you feel a shift in their energies, and it's hurtful for you, okay? Some of you could be personalizing the pain and or personalizing the situation. And I mean, how could you not be? Because you are personally and emotionally involved with this person, so I get it. But it could also be their pain, okay? This person could be going through some things which in turn are impacting them in a negative way, okay, in a hurtful or painful way. This person could be dealing with a lot of negative or hurtful emotions, and one of the ways in which they're dealing with it is, by pulling away. Okay, this is someone who is withdrawing into themselves. This could be someone who's very self-contained, and I can see that they've got a lot going on, guys, and this isn't someone who seems to be managing very well right now. This person seems, and it feels like they're very distant. They may have slowly distanced themselves away from you, or overnight, or what might seem like overnight, they've just suddenly put up a wall, right? They are acting weird. They are acting weird. They're not acting like their usual selves. I don't think you're making it up. I don't think you're being paranoid. I don't think you're overthinking it. Okay, I feel like you're simply responding to the energies, and basically, what you're responding to is them being indecisive, them acting a little weird, a little strange. Now, weird. The word weird itself, right, is open for interpretation. What you might think is weird might be completely normal to your person, or it might be completely normal to, the next person. However, a lot of you just can't seem to shake off the feeling that there's just been a shift in energies, okay? You can't shake the feeling that something is up, okay? Something feels off, something doesn't feel right, like your intuition is kicking in and it's going into overdrive. You are right, they're not being their usual self. They may be acting distant, they may be very quiet, they might not be responding, there could be just this constant odd tone in their voice. He or she might not necessarily be texting or calling as often as they have, as they used to, or they just might completely ghosted you, you might just be getting radio silence from this person. I feel like there's a multitude of sorts, right? I feel like there's more than just one reason as to why your person is acting the way that they're acting. I can definitely sense there's this anxious and nervous energy here between the both of you, and I think you're only feeding off their energy. I think this is you just, picking up on their energy, and you're just feeding off it. You don't want to, but you can't help it. I feel like your person could be, as I've mentioned, I do see them dealing with emotions. They may be experiencing a personal tower moment in their life, okay? So they could be going through some things, and this is something that they're not sharing with you. They're keeping you in the dark about it. So there could be, issues with their job. It could be family matters, it could be something personal, it could be external, okay? So this tower moment could be something external, okay? So issues with the family drama at work. It could be internal. They may be experiencing some inner turmoil. So this isn't someone who I feel like manages well with their emotions, and all of a sudden they may have been triggered recently. Could have something to do with one or two conversations that this person has had with you, and it may have just triggered something within them, and basically this person seems a little mad. It feels like they're a little mad. It feels like they're a little bit anxious. They might also, and I know it's not something you might want to hear, and I know I'm going to be really blunt, right? But they might also be thinking about calling it quits with you, or have been thinking about calling it quits with you. And if this is someone who's ghosted you, then I think this is this person's way of, wanting out of the connection. So the reason why they've ghosted you is because they wanted to avoid having that uncomfortable conversation with you. They also kind of wanted to avoid, coming across as being the bad guy, right? I also feel like because of the Lovers card and the Two of Pentacles, I also feel like there's someone else around your person, and that someone else seems to have them very distracted. So even though, they might be seeing you, or you guys might be talking to, you guys might be talking, I feel like there could be someone else that has their attention. So they may be talking to other people, they may have someone else on their mind, they might even be involved in a relationship with someone else. I do feel like there's someone else or something else that clearly has their attention. But I do feel like, notice how it's not just one thing. I think there's tower moments. I feel like there's another individual. It could be that they're still very much connected or attached to an ex. I also feel like your person is hiding some unwanted emotions. So again, this just plays into the fact that this isn't someone who deals very well with their emotions, okay? So they might be going through a lot of things, like an ex might resurface, and maybe there's still lingering emotions for the ex, and they're caught between getting to know you, and they're caught between going back to the ex. I think they're so caught up in their head that they're not really seeing how they come across to you, or they're not being very considerate, rather. I also feel like this person doesn't feel, okay, don't take offense to this, but they don't feel quite safe opening up to you. Not just yet anyways, they don't feel quite safe, having to share whatever it is that's going on with them. Having to share these unwanted emotions, or, whatever else might be going on, okay? They may feel judged, they may feel like they might feel attacked. It just, I'm not saying that you're going to do that, you're going to, sit there and judge, but it's just how that they might feel. So, their feelings are not your fault, so don't personalize that, okay? Their feelings are not your fault. How they feel is how they feel. It's not it's not your fault. Their feelings, they just exist, right? And feelings themselves are not wrong. I also feel like your person, what can help with that is just communication, but I feel like your person is someone who isn't very good at communicating their feelings, isn't very good at, I also feel like they're not ready to be upfront with you, they're not ready to open up. And I think a lot of you watching this, there's an openness to your energy, but I don't think your person has been responding it. So you've been encouraging, communication and, this openness and transparency. However, I don't think that this is someone who is, they're not responding to your openness here. And I feel like for a lot of you, this is someone who keeps denying that they're mad, or if you guys are still talking for that matter, they'll deny that they're distant. But they'll keep acting weird, right? Your person wants some time to themselves, okay? So no contact, no communication means they're not willing to talk, okay? Their walls built up high means, they're not ready to be upfront about their emotions. So they don't know how to express it. So if they're acting weird, if they're acting distant, or if they're, still texting you but not as often, and, if they're just not their usual selves, I do feel like there's something here that's going on with your person. And, your person needs some time to themselves. See, when you're in a relationship, there's just this, I guess, need, to be there for each other. But right now I do see that this is someone who does want some time and some space. I also feel like there is this sense of, them feeling guilty for having time to themselves, or they even feel guilty for, what they've done to you, if they've ghosted you, or if they're just acting weird. But I feel like your person wants to be left alone and isn't necessarily communicating. I'm not saying that that's a healthy thing to do, okay? Not communicating, not talking, shutting down, but this is what's going on with this person. I feel like for some of you, it's really hard and difficult because in the beginning you guys were super close, or you were just getting on so well and things were going great, and then all of a sudden this shift in energy happened, and then all of a sudden this person started pushing you away, whether consciously or subconsciously. And I think this is what makes it very difficult for you guys, because there's such a big difference to how they were in the beginning and how they are now, right? It's such an emotional seesaw happening here. This person, I feel like, has been feeling quite anxious and awkward around you in the last few times that you've saw each other, that you communicated with each other. Look, bear in mind that for some of you, you have to know that this has nothing to do with you at all, okay? It has nothing to do with you at all. It may not be you at all. There could be something that has happened recently, like them getting triggered, and they're very focused, okay? So if they've been triggered, I feel like you would know that, you've triggered them in a way, or they've been triggered, and, you might have said something to them that they took really personally, and this is something I feel like they're playing on repeat, like they're so focused on it, and it's just going around and around in their mind, this incident. The other thing is, and this might not make a lot of sense to most of you, but I feel like this person is also afraid of losing you. So why would then they try to push you away? Weird, right? Very strange. But I know it doesn't make sense, but bear with me. Sometimes people are afraid of losing someone or losing a relationship, and they push the other person away even more. And I think this is where I'm picking up this really nervous and anxious and awkward energy. You know, why would they do that? I think this is someone who has abandonment issues. I think this is someone who, you know, who has struggled with relationships in the past. So think of it as them beating you to the punch. This person thinks that, you know, you're going to ghost them, or you're going to leave them, or they're punching above their weight for you. And, you know, they just suspect that you're out of their league. They suspect that, you know, you're going to leave them one day, or, you know, again, having those abandonment issues. So if they push you, and if they, you know, if they push you away, and if they reject you first, then this kind of, you know, it hurts the ego a little less. See what I'm getting at? I know it doesn't sound rational. I know it sounds very odd and strange, but it's a thing, and I think it's something that's happening here. So look, there's a lot of feelings involved, okay? It's not so simple, it's not straightforward. I think there's, you know, a multitude of reasons why your person is acting weird, and he or she might not even be realizing that they're doing it. Okay, so I'm going to leave it at that, and I'm going to follow on in part 2. I'm going to see whether they're going to stop acting weird, okay? Are they going to stop acting weird? Are they going to open up to you? Will they communicate? Will they reach out? You know, what's going to happen with this? I mean, where do you guys go from here, right? So follow me to the extension link below. Thank you guys for your time, your energy, your attention. If you haven't already, please do show your support to the channel by subscribing, by liking, sharing, or commenting. Thanks guys again. Bye for now.